is a Merv Griffin production in association with Metro Media Producers Corporation.
Presidential hopefuls are gearing up for next Tuesday's North Carolina primary election, and Patty Hearst is bitter over her conviction. Details in a moment.
Jane Wyman and Ray Milland star in the 1953 comedy Let's Do It Again, Sunday night at 10 on WTCN-TV, Channel 11.
These days, people are looking for more than just luxury in their luxury cars, and they're finding it in the Audi. Is it our German engineering on winding roads, our excellent gas mileage for long trips, or is it simply because people just love to arrive in comfort and style? We're not sure, but while some people are still searching for performance and economy in a luxury car, many have found the answer.
Like millions of others, I'm sometimes troubled by arthritis. When my friends told me the way Exocane works, I couldn't believe it.
This is Exocane, Exocane medicated foam, the only leading rub containing benzocaine, the fast-acting anesthetic that deadens pain up to hours at a time. Exocane starts to penetrate immediately to temporarily deaden minor aches and pains of arthritis.
I do feel less pain with Exocane.
Exocane, an easy-to-carry tube and economical aerosol.
Oxtails, fall panicum, crabgrass. If you're missing these grasses with atrazine, a Lasso Plus atrazine tank mix will control them. And there's less chance of carryover, too. Lasso plus atrazine. It gives you more than atrazine. A lot more.
This is WTCN-TV, Channel 11, the Discovery Station.
Good evening, I'm Joe Casella. In the news tonight, presidential hopefuls are gearing up for Tuesday's North Carolina presidential primary. President Ford and Jimmy Carter, the frontrunners, stayed home today while other candidates hit the campaign trail. Republican Ronald Reagan and Democrat Jimmy Carter plan to resume heavy campaigning tomorrow. Reagan, who hasn't won a primary this year, says that he would settle for coming in a close second in Tuesday's election. But Wallace aides are denying that the Alabama governor is also resigned to another loss. Idaho Senator Frank Church, meanwhile, who jumped into the Democratic presidential race last week, says that presidential candidates should be putting more stress on foreign policy. Appearing today on ABC's Issues and Answers, Senator Church talked about his views on foreign policy.
Rich patron country in a war-wrecked world. Yet we're still behaving as though we were. We're doling out $8 to $10 billion a year to more than 50 foreign governments. Now, what I would do is to recognize that there are things we can do to relieve famine and to help improve living standards in the third world, but that ought to be a cooperative effort. We ought to engage in that through international institutions and draw the full measure of support we should be getting from other rich countries in Western Europe and Japan, and how about the oil-rich countries too? We ought to be approaching that problem in a multilateral way and calling upon other countries to help.
Well, what would you do? Would you cut off all foreign aid, all unilateral foreign aid?
I would move to multilateral channels, the World Bank, the international financial institutions, and enlist the help of other countries when it comes to that kind of economic aid. I would cut off most of this military aid to these governments where it's really a disservice to them and to their people, and I would focus on those particular areas that are of vital interest to the United States: Western Europe, the Middle East, Japan, countries of that kind, places where we must take strong stands, where we must have aid programs, yes, but this globalistic approach to 50 different foreign governments and the amount of money we put out each year is just bureaucracy perpetuating itself, and we ought to stop it.
Extradition proceedings are pending against a man believed to have slain a 33-year-old St. Paul man on Saturday. Lawmen in Chicago say they arrested the man who may have killed John Garcia. Garcia's body was found in a St. Paul parking lot behind 179 East Arch Street early yesterday. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Judy Brask of Brooklyn Center and 29-year-old Edwin Hall of International Falls are being held in the Anoka County Jail on murder charges. They are being held on $300,000 bond in connection with the triple slayings of 2 men and a woman last Thursday in suburban Hilltop. Newspaper heiress Patricia Hearst is still in jail after her conviction on bank robbery charges. Came yesterday. One of the jurors in the case said the guilty verdict was all they could pass. The one deciding factor, the juror said, was Patty's refusal to talk about the missing year of her life spent underground. Patty's attorney says that she's stunned and bitter following that conviction. Former middleweight boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter, no doubt, feels differently about the American justice system this weekend. He's free today, 9 years after his conviction for a triple murder he says that he didn't commit. Carter was granted a new trial after 2 key prosecution witnesses recanted their testimony. Scientists are concerned over the welfare of birds of prey such as eagles, falcons, and hawks. The future of the birds has become a high priority item internationally as well as here in the United States. One study site is the Snake River Birds of Prey Natural Area near Boise, Idaho, where the birds are quite numerous.
Snake River Birds of Prey Natural Area near Boise is the nation's finest example of a project where a blend of research and land use planning is helping in this conservation effort.
We've been using radio telemetry in our portion of the Bureau of Land Management study about golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, and prairie falcons, such as you see here. Miniature radio transmitters weighing less than an ounce are attached to the birds and are positioned on the back with a harness. As the birds fly about their home ranges catching food, which they bring back to the nest to feed the young, we follow them in a receiver-equipped truck. As we watch their daily flights, we collect information on their food habits, hunting behavior, and habitat use.
Minnesota Vikings general manager Mike Lynn says that he's not kidding when he talks about moving his team to another city. Lynn says the issue of a new sports facility appears to be dead in the Minnesota legislature. Lynn got reassurance this weekend from the Memphis, Tennessee City Council that their stadium would be expanded by 11,000 seats if the Vikings were lured there. That would give them a total of 72,000 seats compared to the 48,000 at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington. The Minnesota legislature goes into what's supposed to be the final week of its 1976 legislative session tomorrow, with tempers flaring and action still needed on taxes and a number of other issues. The House adjourned Friday shortly after House Tax Chairman Wilbur Kelly, a DFLer, refused to get into a conference committee on the tax bill. The Senate wants the rebate, while Governor Anderson and House members are cool on the idea. While the legislature is supposed to adjourn this week, one legislator said that he would be surprised if it did. More bodies are found on the wreckage of an Army helicopter in Georgia. Details on that story as the 9:30 News continues.
At Northern Natural Gas Company, we're working to keep natural gas coming to your home. And while we've asked you to conserve gas, we're concerned about the way we use gas, too. So we modified turbine engines like this one at a number of our compressor stations. The engine's exhaust heat is now used to preheat combustion air, so less natural gas is needed to do the same amount of work. We're spending $3.5 million on projects like this. Through these actions, we save enough gas to supply a city the size of Minneapolis for about 20 winter days. You can save energy at your house, too. Take shorter showers. Wash and dry only full loads of laundry. Set your thermostat at 68 degrees and lower at night. Keep furnace filters clean. Insulate your home and weather strip doors and windows. We all have to work together. Tomorrow's energy is everybody's job.
When you've got it, flaunt it. And Curtis Mathis TV has it. Just look at the guarantee. Only Curtis Mathis has a guarantee that covers all parts and labor for 4 years. It's made that good. It's like having a free medical insurance policy on your TV set for 4 whole years. And Curtis Mathis is sold by Dealers Television, the Twin Cities' leading service firm for 27 years.
Aboard, mes amis! There is romance on the train. This train journey, it lets you touch places closely. We share the life, from our magnifique Montréal to the prettiest Atlantic fishing villages.
This trip is just one of many unusual vacation packages in Canada. See your travel agent, airline, or other carrier and make it happen.
For me, it is always new, and I like the others to feel it.
Canada, there's so much to go for.
7 soldiers were found dead today, 24 hours after their Army helicopter slammed into a mountain in northern Georgia. The victims, all from Fort Benning, were on a training mission. Many Americans are concerned about the rising number of X-rated movie theaters springing up in their neighborhoods. About a year and a half ago, Boston experimentally zoned an adult entertainment district. Here's a report on how it's working.
The district is 2.5 blocks square. It runs along Lower Washington Street, one of the main thoroughfares leading towards downtown Boston. Locally, the area is known as the Combat Zone. But the area had that name decades before it was zoned an adult entertainment district. Tufts Medical School and Hospital Complex borders one end. There are commercial and residential areas which also touch alongside the district. A couple of years ago, many Bostonians became alarmed when adult movie houses, bookstores, and topless bars started opening up in neighborhoods far from the Combat Zone. In order to stop that, the city amended the zoning law, forbidding the opening of any kind of adult entertainment business outside the district. Owners of sex businesses already in operation outside the zone were allowed to stay open, but if they go out of business, they stay out of business unless they find a spot within the Combat Zone to open a new place. Rather than trying to hide the sex entertainment area, Boston is spending money to fix theirs up. Over $300,000 was spent to build a plaza area. The Boston Redevelopment Authority is urging sex store owners to put up uniform, bare bulb signs to complement the restoration of some of the historic buildings in the Combat Zone. A city architect is helping the private owners at no cost. Robert Kenny is director of the Boston Redevelopment Authority.
We realized that we couldn't turn our back on it, and in the fact that it hadn't gone away, and that we had torn down in several urban renewal projects these uses, and they sprung up elsewhere. And
has it made it easier to control?
We think it's been successful. We never expected that we would transform the adult entertainment district overnight. There have been substantial physical improvements in terms of building facades. The buildings look better. The owners have spent money on their property. We know we've blocked the spread of several movies, and we do feel that it has been successful, yes.
City officials are quick to point out that the zoning change did not create an official red light district. The laws against prostitution and pornography still apply in the Combat Zone. The cops claim they make prostitution arrests here quite often, but LaGrange Street has hookers on both sides of the block from midday on through the night. As darkness comes, many of the prostitutes venture off this Combat Zone side street and begin to work the main thoroughfares of the district where pedestrian traffic is heavier. So there are cops aplenty in the Combat Zone, most of them in uniform, keeping things peaceful and arresting those who want it the other way.
Kurt, it looks like Twin Cities weather isn't keeping an eye on the calendar. Even though it's spring, it's pretty cold.
Well, I think it might change. The 2 words that are the key in the forecast today are unseasonably mild.
I hope you're right.
We'll see where that works in right now. Taking a look at the national map on the west coast first, there's one little pocket of rain up in the northwest and one way down in the southeast, which we'll see in just a minute. Here in Seattle, 56 and rain, and there's a cool high-pressure area moving in toward the middle states. San Francisco at 66, at Los Angeles at 69, both areas reporting sunny skies. Denver was also sunny and 61 today. This is that warm pressure area that was outside of our 5-state area yesterday. It's now moved in and coming into Minnesota and Iowa, moving warm airs in with it and leaving North and South Dakota very warm today. Chicago had 41, and it was cloudy in Chicago because there still is a cold low pressure area up in the Great Lakes area. New Orleans 73 and sunny. Miami 82 and rain today. In fact, most of Florida was rain today. New York was 42 and cool as that cool low pressure area in the East Coast moves out into the Atlantic. In Paris, some international temperatures. Paris 45 and sunny. Tokyo 45 and sunny. Looking at our 5-state area, first North Dakota, the key word in all of our 5 states is warm for tomorrow. North Dakota will have warm temperatures, fair to partly cloudy skies, lows 5 to 20, highs tomorrow 40 to 56. South Dakota, fair to partly cloudy and warm as well. Some showers in the southwest. Their lows 15 to 22, highs tomorrow 44 to 57. In Iowa, some partly cloudy skies in the southwest and middle south. It'll be sunny over on the eastern side of half of Iowa. Warm temperatures, however, 20 to 28, the lows in that state. Highs tomorrow 42 to 55. In Wisconsin, 0 to 19 will be the lows tonight. They'll have some showers and cool temperatures in the northern half, southern half, sunny and warm. Highs tomorrow 41 to 52. In our state, we'll have some very cool temperatures way up in the north, but they will change by tomorrow afternoon. 8 below will be the low tonight in the northern half, and down to 18 in the southern half of Minnesota. Sunny and warm through the middle section of the state. 26 to 47 are highs tomorrow in Minnesota. Taking a look at what happened today in the Twin Cities, we had a high of 30 at about 4:15 this afternoon, and we had a low of 19 at 5 o'clock this morning. The temperature right now is 21 degrees. Winds are from the northwest at 5 miles per hour, a zephyr. Humidity 54%, barometer at 30.25, and rising slowly. We have fair skies right now. The forecast for the Twin City area, cool tonight and tomorrow morning, and then that warm pressure area moving in will be warm and fair by tomorrow afternoon. Low tonight expected in the Twin Cities of 14, high tomorrow 41 degrees, and our winds will change to the southwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. Air quality is good. The sunrise at 6:13, the sunset tomorrow at 6:28. Again, the temperature 21 degrees. Joe?
Thank you, Kurt. Left and right-wing terrorists today launched a new wave of violence in Argentina as politicians barter over how to head off a possible military coup. Leftist guerrillas attacked 2 police stations and seized a labor leader. In another city, a university employee was shot to death in his hospital bed. A woman teacher was kidnapped, and police defused 22 pounds of dynamite outside the home of a socialist leader. Killing is also going on in Bangkok, where 3 persons were slain today and others injured in fighting between anti-American and pro-American demonstrators. The violence broke out as the last of 3,500 U.S. servicemen began picking up their equipment, complying with the Thai government's order to get out of that country by July 20th. Trouble continues in Beirut, where Muslim militiamen in Lebanon have pushed Christian phalangists from their last important stronghold in the western sector of that city, dividing it in half. There's no word on casualties in the battle, but more than 70 persons have died in the renewed fighting during the past 48 hours. The problem of learning disabilities, drug use, as well as life at home are the topics for A Better Life today. Here's Sonia Friedman.
Have you ever heard a parent say, "My child has been sick for years. I wonder if I should take him to a doctor"? Of course not. But that same parent is more likely to say, "My child has never done well in school. He hates it and gets terrible grades. I wonder if I should take him to a specialist to find out what's wrong with him." Just as you wouldn't wait for a serious illness to cure itself, don't wait to seek help for a youngster who's doing poorly in school. Don't even wait months, let alone years, to see why your child is having problems. The answers can come from a variety of sources, starting with the teacher or the child's principal. And then to help the child, you might consider a child psychologist or clinic, where they have the tools to evaluate the youngster's personality and intelligence. Just as in the case of illness, you have to know what's wrong before you can begin to set it right. Professional help is available and as close as your child's school. Don't wait until it's too late to seek it out. Have you ever sent your child on a bad trip? Oh, I don't mean to camp. I mean on drugs. Research has questioned over 1,000 drug abusers and found that male pot smokers thought that their parents were hostile. Male and female users of downers felt their parents were too lenient with them. And male LSD users found their parents permissive and thought they were rejecting them. The overriding feeling was that poor parenting caused many of the youths to take up drugs. If this strikes home, some soul-searching on your part might change that bad trip to a walk down the straight and narrow for your children. For a better life, this is Sonia Friedman.
It's been a busy day on the sports front. Barry will have the details as the 9:30 news continues.
Now you can paint any surface at all, even in a tuxedo, quickly, cleanly, and easily with the amazing Miracle Painter. Tackle any paint job at all and get professional results with no drip, no mess, and no roller spray. Watch how ineffective a brush can be. Now the Miracle Painter. You get total coverage, every crack and groove filled quickly and easily, almost unbelievably. Here's the Miracle Painting Surface, 10 times the coverage. Watch out! That's a freshly dipped brush. Now the Miracle Painter. No spray, no drip, and no mess. You can actually paint without a drop cloth. Use this handy adapter for painting walls and ceilings and our mini painter for tight spots. It's the quickest, cleanest, and easiest way you'll ever paint. You get this complete Miracle Painting Kit for only $9.95. Order now.
To order your revolutionary Miracle Painter, send $9.95 to Miracle Painter, Box 27,000, Minneapolis. Not sold in stores, so send $9.95 to Miracle Painter, Box 27,000, Minneapolis.
Plywood, Minnesota's spring carload days make saving a family affair. Super buys because we buy by the carload, you drive home the bargains. Tie on new paneling for any room and watch the smiles. You'll love our sporty new vanities and colorful tops. Roll up some royal deals on carpeting for every taste, every budget. Load up a new kitchen and truck out some real savings. Super buys, not a dog in the deal. Now during Plywood, Minnesota's spring carload days.
Tony Ferrara has done it again at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning Company. They're having a standard preseason sale on Fetter's central air conditioning that's a knockout. Look at these fantastic do-it-yourself values. Prices include coil, condenser, and 15-foot line. And on the 24,000 BTU model, you also get a thermostat and sub-base. As a bonus, receive a free Honeywell fail-safe fire alarm. Limited quantities, so you call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning Company right away.
Barry, Kurt said that it was raining in Florida. Did it have any effect on the Jacksonville Open today?
Well, Kurt evidently wasn't in Jacksonville. I wasn't talking about that area because, no, they played their final round today and Hugh B. Green took it all. A lot of money.
Surprise? Was that a surprise?
No, not really. Not really. He was leading after the round yesterday, and he won last week's Doral Open, so he's playing pretty good golf.
Great.
As we said, Hugh B. Green beat Miller Barber by 2 strokes today to win that Greater Jacksonville Open Golf Tournament. Green bogeyed the next to last hole to cut his lead to 1 stroke. He almost threw away the lead on the 18th when he put his approach shot in the bunker, and then he blasted out to within 18 inches of the pin, and then birdied to double his lead. Hugh B. Green, the Jacksonville Open winner, and as we said, the Doral Open winner last week. Green's round today, a 2-under par 70 for a 72-hole total of 12 under 276. Ed Doherty and Mike Hill tied for 3rd place. They had 279s today. Lots of news in tennis today. Yvonne Goolagong dumped Martina Navratilova 6-1, 6-1 to win the $15,000 first prize in the Virginia Slims of Dallas tennis tourney. Arthur Ashe won his 2nd match of the World Championship Tennis Challenge Cup Series in Hawaii today by defeating Sweden's Bjorn Borg. Ashe pocketed $10,000 for his 6-4, 7-6, 6-3 victory. Top-seeded Ken Rosewall beat Mexico's Raul Ramirez in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3 this afternoon for the title in the World Championship Tennis Tournament in Mississippi. Rosewall took home $17,000. Ramirez got $8,000. David Pearson won the Atlanta 500 stock car race today. Pearson outdistanced runner-up Benny Parsons by about 2 seconds. Cale Yarborough finished 3rd. He was 2 laps back. The baseball owners held meetings yesterday and announced that the players had refused their latest proposal, and now they're waiting to hear what the players' counteroffer is. Also, as you no doubt have heard by now, the American League has decided to expand to the city of Toronto for the 1977 season. News was that the National League might accept 2 new expansions to bring each league to 14 teams. Now the National League has announced it may seek a franchise in Toronto too, and the city will have to decide which league to go with, either the American or the National. The amateur midget hockey tournament was held today at Braemar Arena in Edina. South St. Paul defeated Duluth Ariels 6-5 to become the 1976 Minnesota State champion. South St. Paul was down 5-3 in the 3rd period, but they rallied for 3 consecutive goals. The winning goal from Brian Price coming with 5:50 left in the game. Gordon Reed got the hat trick for Duluth. South St. Paul now will represent the state of Minnesota in the national tourney April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Columbus, Ohio. In the 3rd and 4th place matchup this afternoon, East St. Paul defeated Edina East 4-1. And an MAHA State Senior Championship play today, Roseau Leafs over St. Paul Webbers 8-4. Well, as we watch some action from the Gopher-Michigan State game earlier this month, we'll talk of the Gophers meeting Boston University in NCAA tournament play March 26th at the Denver University Ice Arena. And we'll remind you that ticket applications for the tourney are available at the Bierman Building at the University of Minnesota. The applications must be paid for and picked up by next Tuesday noon. And of course, you'll see all the tourney action Friday night beginning at 8:30 here on Channel 11. And if the Gophers win, we'll televise Gopher hockey Saturday evening also. Now, to let you in on exactly what will be happening sports-wise here on Channel 11 the coming week, This Wednesday night at 7:30, we'll televise the North Stars Kansas City game. Then Friday night at 8:30, Gopher Boston University hockey. And if the Gophers win Friday night, we'll televise that Saturday night game. And then this coming Sunday, a week from tonight, it'll be North Stars Chicago Blackhawks hockey, all here on WTCN television. The North Stars hosted Los Angeles out at the Met Sports Center tonight. They battled to a 4-4 tie. That game just over about 10 minutes ago. With that, let's go to tonight's scoreboard. Again, Minnesota, Los Angeles, a 4-4 tie in the National Hockey League. St. Louis defeated Vancouver 5-2. Buffalo 3, Kansas City 1. Pittsburgh downing the Rangers 4-2. Philadelphia by 2 goals, 4-2 over Toronto. After 2 periods of play, Detroit leads Chicago 2-0. In the World Hockey Association this afternoon, Cleveland defeated Cincinnati 4-1. Toronto 5, Winnipeg 2. After 2 periods of play, Phoenix leads Houston 3-2. Quebec is at Edmonton. We have nothing in on that game as of yet. In the NBA, Boston over Philadelphia by 8. Kansas City 112, Chicago 101. Seattle defeated Houston by 10, 117-107. Cleveland over Washington 95-92. Detroit defeating Buffalo 118-112. Milwaukee is at LA, that game just underway. In the ABA, Kentucky downing Virginia 138-129. Indiana 114, San Antonio 109. Denver over St. Louis. And in the NIT championship game, Kentucky over North Carolina at Charlotte 71-67. Joe?
Can you imagine anyone being a millionaire at the age of 24?
Oh God, I could take it.
I certainly could too. I'm going to have a story about one and what he's doing with his money right after this.
Ronco presents The Sound Explosion, a dynamite album of 20 super rock and disco hits with Silver Convention, Jigsaw, You've blown it all sky high, Michael Murphy, Melissa Manchester, plus Neil Sedaka, Gwen McCrae, Pure Prairie League, and more. Hits like KC and the Sunshine Band, Hot Chocolate, You Sexy Thing, Frankie Valli, Barry Manilow, Sound Explosion, suggested list $4.99 for records, tape $6.99.
$4.99, tape $6.99 at Snyder's, Red Owl Family Centers, Walgreens, Woolworth, 7-Eleven, Snyder Brothers, Montgomery Wards, PDQ, and Sears.
Have you ever heard of Death Valley Junction? Well, probably not, but someday you may be vacationing there. That is if 24-year-old Peter Simon has his way. He's trying to convert that small town into a tourist attraction.
Riding down Highway 127 in southeastern California would hardly notice Death Valley Junction unless you'd heard of the Old Western Hotel here or maybe the Armagosa Opera House. But 24-year-old Peter Simon heard about Death Valley Junction, and he liked it so much, he bought it. The hotel, the opera house, everything. A multimillionaire through family mining money, Peter hopes to turn this town into a money-making tourist attraction.
The town itself used to be the only and the most exclusive resort in the Death Valley area when it was owned by the Borax Company. It has been in a state of decline for about 40 years with accumulating a lot of deferred maintenance. Basically what we're trying to do is put the rooms in the condition that they were when the Borax Company had it.
Simon also owns an airplane, which he flies occasionally over to Jean, Nevada, a little settlement on Highway 15 south of Las Vegas. It's his other town. If he gets bored with the hotel and opera house in Death Valley Junction, he can always come to Gene, where he owns a garage, a towing service, and a small roadside casino. Peter Simon is the first to admit he has already achieved a measure of success. But if his luck holds, don't be surprised if he owns a city before long. This is Wayne Godsey reporting.
And that's the news for tonight. I'm Joe Casella. Thanks for watching, and good night.
The Minnesota Hockey Gophers meet Boston University in NCAA playoff action Friday, March 26th at 8:30 on WTCN-TV, Channel 11.
Remember when the Everly Brothers sold millions of records? Now you can get 26 all-time great Everly Brothers hits like... Order now 26 great hits on 2 stereo records, 8-track cartridge or cassette at special low, low TV prices, including... Feel like it's just... Order right now million record sellers like Bye Bye Love. Bye Bye Love. Order these 26 great Everly Brothers hits now. Let it be me. At special TV prices. When will I be loved? This is a limited offer. Order now. This special offer includes Bird Dog. Johnny is a joker.
Order your Everly Brothers package. Call 800-648-4990 now. Save COD charges. Send $6.99 for records, $8.99 for tape to Everly Brothers, Box 2700, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55427.
Lonesome Ed from Midway Ford. Take a look at this little Mustang in our corral. You know, you can march into spring with our special price on Ford's popular Mustang II during March. You know, you can save $300 on your purchase of a 2-door Mustang II MPG equipped with a 4-cylinder engine, 4-speed transmission. We slashed the selling price to just $3,395.